solve the inequality. So, and then you graph the solution sets. So we have 6x minus 7 is less than 5x minus 4. Basically, when you solve the inequality, your result, it doesn't give you just a single number like a normal equation will give you. Here it will give you a range of numbers starting from this number to that number. So let's see how this looks like. So we want to solve for x. So we want to bring all the terms of x on one side and all the terms without x on the other side. So I want to get rid of 5x on that side, so I'll subtract 5x on both sides. Here 6x minus 5x will leave me with just 1x. The negative 7 remains. Then 5x minus 5x goes to 0. So on the right side, we are left with only negative 5. Then I want to keep x to be alone. So I need to get rid of negative 7. To get rid of negative 7, we need to add 7, right? Always the opposite of what we have. Negative 7 plus 7 cancels out. Then we are left with x on one side. On the other side, minus 5 plus 7 yields to 2. You see? And then this means all numbers less than but not equal to 2, right? Not equal to 2. So when we look at the number line here, we're looking at all these numbers from 2 but 2 excluded. So you can see here, as far as the graph, it's going to be this one here. Here they say find the slope of the equation. So we have 2x plus y equals to 7. We have to rewrite it in the slope form. So we know the slope form is y equals to mx plus b. So we want to solve for y in this case. So to solve for y, we want to leave y alone. So we have to kick out the terms with x. So we do negative 2x. That way the 2x minus 2x goes away. I'm remaining with y over here. And I'll be left with 7 minus 2x. To rewrite it, it's going to be negative 2x plus 7. Then, following this form, the slope is the m. So in this case here, the slope will be the negative 2. In 2004, there were approximately 2004. We had 5,020 cinema sites. Say in 2000, there were 6,300 sites. So it says write an equation describing this relationship. So the equation here, we are assuming that it's a linear relationship. So they say use ordered pairs of the form. So we're using years past 2000, and then we're using the number of cinema sites. So meaning that for this first one here scenario, the ordered point will be 4, 50, 20. Because we're saying that the x value is how many years past year 2000. This second one here, since we are on year 2000, so 0 years past 2000, and then we have y yielding to 6,300. So from there, we want to find the slope, because for us to write the equation is y equals mx plus b. And then to find the slope, say it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have these 2 points here. This could be used as x1, y1, this one x2, y2. So then m is equal to 6300 minus 502 divided by 0 minus 4. If you plug this into the calculator, you should get a value of negative 320 as your slope. And then from this, to write an equation, the equation of the line is represented as this, with the slope here, and x1 and x2 being the coordinates of any point on the line. So we could use either these points here, or we could use that points. So it's a matter of preference. So I'll use the bottom one, just my preference. So y1 will be the 6300 minus the slope of negative 320. X minus x1 here is 0. So it's going to be y minus 6300 minus 320x. And I want to leave y alone. So here, that way I get rid of that opposite of that number. So I get negative 320x plus 6300. So that is the equation that we have. And then part B says use this equation to predict the number of sites in 2007. So when we talk about 2007, we're talking about the x value of 7, because 7 years past year 2000. So then we put y equals negative 320, x value of 7 plus 6300. That will yield the value of 4060. So that means in 2007 there were 4,060 cinema sites. Okay, graph the linear equation and find its intercept. So we have this equation 36. So to find the intercept, x-intercept is when y equals to 0. Y-intercept is when x equals to 0. So we're gonna set x equal to 0, we find the value of y. We're gonna set y equals to 0, we find the value of x, and then we get the coordinates. Then we can plot. With 2 points you can already graph a line. So I have negative 6x minus 36y equals to 36. When we put the x value of 0, these terms goes to 0. We are left with negative 36 equals to 36. We divide this by negative 36 to leave y alone. Have y equals to negative 1. That makes a point, our first coordinate of when x equals 0, y equals negative 1. Now the second one, we're setting y equals to 0. So we have negative 6 minus 36, and then we set the y value of 0 equals 36, and then this term goes to 0. We have negative 6x equals to 36. To leave x alone, we divide by negative 6. That yields to x equals negative 6. That gives us our second coordinate point of y0. It's yielding to x negative 6. So with those 2 points, we can make the graph. We say x0, so x0, y negative 1 will be here. X negative 6, we go negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then y is 0. We don't go anywhere, so we stay right here. And that will yield a line like this. That will be the answer B. Says graph the linear equation x equals to 2. So when we say x equal to 2, that means that everywhere, regardless of the value of y, x will always equal to 2. So that way, we're going to draw the x as a line like this. That means for whatever y value, you always find the x value of equal to 2. Whatever your y value, your x value is 2. So it's just a vertical line that's passing by x equal to 2. So here it says use the quotient rule and simplify the expression that we have. So assume that all the bases are not equal to 0. Okay. So I have 12 x to the second power, y to the 7th power, over 12 x to the second, y to the 4th power. So here we are simplifying. When we use the quotient rule here, we finding the terms with the same base. When you have terms with the same base, you add their exponent. So what do I mean by that? So we have 12 divided by 12 already cancels, right? And then we have x squared, we have x squared. So x and x, so I mean x on top here and x in the bottom here. So both of them, they have the same base. So we'll write them on top as x with the 2 from the top plus the 2 from the bottom here. And then we also have y. The numerator has a value of 7. And the bottom has a value of 4, so we subtract, it's negative 4. Yeah, so here I meant 2 minus 2. So since it's numerator and denominator, so we have to subtract the values of the exponents. So we get x to the power of 0 times y to the power of 3. Any number to the power of 0 yields to 1, so it's going to be 1 times y to the 3rd power. We get the answer of y to the 3rd power. Okay. Yeah, correction here. So it's not 12 here. Here it's 2. So since it's 2 over 12, when we cancel these, we are only left with 1 over 6. So that 1 over 6 will still remain here. Sorry about that. I thought it was 12 over 12. So 1 over 6 times y to the 3rd. Alright, simplify the following expression. Write the result using positive exponents. So here you have 8 to the 6th to the 2nd, 8 to the 8th to the 7th. So when you have a number that has an exponent, and then that number you expose it again to another exponent, you can just keep the same base and multiply the exponents. So I have 6 times 2 here, it yields to 12. So here I'll put 8 to the 12. Same way to the bottom, we have an a that has already an exponent, and that entire thing we raise it to the power 7. That means we just have to multiply the exponents. So we have 8 times 7, which yields to 56. So then from here we have the same base. Remember, the same base, we're gonna subtract the exponent. You keep the same base, you subtract the exponent. So then from here we have a to the power negative 44. So if you do 12 minus 56, it's negative 44. And then since it's negative, it can be rewritten as 1 over a to the 44. So this is you changing that exponent from negative to positive. To do that, you just take the whole term, you do a 1 over that term, and then you change the sign of the exponent. Write the following number in scientific notation. So we have 0.00718. Scientific notation, we want to write one digit that is non-zero, and then we put the decimal, and then we write everything else, then we multiply it by 10 to the power of something. So here when we put a non-zero digit here will be 7. The first non-digit will be 7. So I'll put 1 point, everything that follows. Now I know the original value, the decimal was here. How many digits did I skip to bring that decimal past 7? So it's 1, 2, and 3. So since I skipped 3 like that, I'll put a minus 7 here. That'll give your scientific notation of this number. Next, to say you gotta multiply 5x squared y 3x to the third plus x squared y to the fifth minus 3y squared. All you gotta do here, you take this expression here, you multiply by the first term plus that expression, multiply by the second here, and then you multiply by the third here. What do we get? We'll get the 5x squared y. We multiply by negative 3x squared plus 5x squared y multiply by x squared y to the fifth minus, because of this minus here, 5x squared y times 3y squared. Now the first one here, 5 times 5 we get 15. We have x squared times x to the third. When we multiply these two terms that have the same base, we keep the same base, we add the exponents. So it's going to be 2 plus 3 to x to the fifth. So x to the fifth, and then y is alone, so we keep y. And then the next term here, we have 5 that is alone, there is no other number to multiply it by. Then we have x squared times x squared. Same base, we're multiplying two numbers, so we keep the same base and we add the exponents. So 2 plus 2, so x to the fourth. So it'll be x to the fourth. Same way we have y times y to the fifth. Same base, we add the exponent. Here, since it's just y, so it's like y to the power 1. It's going to be 1 plus 5, it's y to the 6. Do y to the 6 minus, and then the last term there, we have 5 times 3, so it will be that 15 there. X squared is alone, we keep the x squared, we have y times y squared. So y alone is just y to the power 1. So we keep the same base, we add the exponents. So y plus 1 plus 2 is 3, so we get y to the third. Y to the third. Alright, here we say we want to multiply. So I have 7y this squared, right? So this is one of the perfect square rule that says that when you have a minus b squared, we have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. In this case, our a is like 7y and our b is just 2. It's not negative 2 because 2 is already included in the equation. The negative is already included in the equation. So from here we follow this formula. A squared will be 7y squared minus 2. A is 7y, b is 2 plus b squared, 2 squared. So this one will be 49y squared minus 28y plus 4. Here they say to use the FOIL method. The FOIL method says that you take A, you multiply by C, that's the first one, and then you take A, you multiply by D, that's the second step, and then you take B, you multiply by C as the third, B times 4 times D as the fourth. So with the equation that we are given of y minus 5 times 8y minus 9, first we do y times 8y, it's gonna give us 8y squared, and then we do y times negative 8, that will yield times negative 9, it will yield negative 9y. Then we have minus y times 8y, that will yield to negative 40y, and negative 5 times negative 9, we get positive 45. Combining like terms, we have 8y squared. The only like terms would be this one and this one. So negative 49 minus negative 49 would be negative 49y plus 45.